Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Same Cast, Different Day podcast. I just messed myself up a little bit.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
because I'm looking at it on the laptop also, and it's like delayed on the laptop. So it was like I was waiting for the icon at the bottom to tell me that we were unmuted to start talking. So on the actual laptop, it was saying we were still. Oh no, on my phone it said we were still muted, but on my laptop it said we wasn't. So I didn't know what was going on. But welcome to the show, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Oh hey y'all.
I'm trying to be as preppy as I can possible, considering how I feel right now
Mm,
for y'all.
mm,
And if you haven't already, we were supposed to do it tonight, but yeah, I'm not in the mood to do that. So,
mm.
but so Thursday, I don't know. Maybe I could, maybe I should just switch it to like on my weekends off from work. Maybe we do this part of do film the after set. I don't know, but maybe this Thursday after the podcast, we'll film the first episode of the after set. So if you want to know what's going on there, all the details of our lives that we don't talk about on here, the dirty stuff, the off the wall unscripted, even though this show is unscripted, but y'all know what I'm trying to say here. The unfiltered mess that goes on in our lives. Um, Make sure y'all subscribe to our subscription service of the podcast. It's only $5 a month, so y'all get that exclusive access to them episodes before I have to start doing OnlyFans feed videos on my feet and stuff. So make sure y'all
Ooh, child. Y'all don't want that.
help us out. Help me out here because I am poor as hell. Plane tickets are still too damn high. Uh, I'm I'm supposed to be going to the Kalahari in May, June, something. I was gonna ask Tina, but I think the boys is gonna be in school and she gonna have to work. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know when school ends nowadays. So yeah, and daylight savings has thrown me off so much. I don't know if I'm supposed to be woke or sleeping no more.
I agree. Same.
I'm not used to it being dark when I go to work now.
I'm not used to it being daylight when I get off.
That too.
I don't know what to do with my life.
Because it'd be daylight when I leave work, but it'd be like the sun already be setting when I'm leaving work, kind of. So like by the time I get home and get settled in, it'd be dark
Mm.
already. So, or if I'm out doing stuff and I'm out and about, and I'm taking care of business and stuff. By the time I'm done, yeah, it's dark outside already.
Mm.
But
Mm. Mm.
to start off today's show, um, rapper I first say Little Twitch. Lord, my brain is farting already. Costa,
Toaster, Twitch, Titch.
Costa Titch. Oh Lord, Costa Titch passed away at the age of 28 after collapsing on stage. They don't have he was performing at a festival in Johannesburg, which is in South Africa. They don't know exactly what the cause was. If you're not familiar with him, here's a picture of him right here. If oh okay, if it popped up on, oh God, this is so delayed for me. Okay, I know
Me
to look over
too.
at this screen now. So that's a picture of him right through. He was fine.
Lord have mercy.
Sorry, that's my inner hoe kicking in. I'm so sorry. That's my inner hoe. But that's a picture of him right there. He was 28 years old. We will keep you guys posted if there's any news on his cause of death. Um, Speaking of celebrity deaths, one thing I did forget to talk about last week, on top of the one thing that just popped in my head, Tina, I'm sorry. Aaron Carter mother released pictures of the crime scene from when her son died. And she's the reason why she did this is because she felt like the police are not investigating her son death. Like they keep investigating it as a drug overdose. She was like, my son did not like intend to do these drugs and kill himself. She feel like he was set up. Um, so she released the photos of the crime scene, basic of how the place they didn't clean up the crime scene at all. They when they finally did release the house over to her, they left the water in the bathtub that his body was sitting in, that he was found in, along with the clothes that he was wearing. So they didn't take any of the clothes. They didn't take none of the belongings from the bathroom. They didn't do any type of forensics. They didn't test for nothing to see if they didn't do anything. They just literally left the house the way it was and just took his body out and left. It's just oh, it's a drug overdose. So she's releasing these pictures because she feel like that his death investigation was being mishandled, and she feel that her son, although he does has a history with drug use and stuff like that, she felt like he didn't kill himself. Like this isn't something he did. He just like, oh, I'm just gonna decide to kill myself. So I feel for her. And another person had responded to this saying, well, the police were technically whoever came in for the crime scene, like the crime, like the lab team, whatever they did came in, they should have drained the water and stuff out as a respect to the family. As far as the actual cleanup goes of the bathroom and stuff, like actual like clean. Um, the family was supposed to hire somebody to come in and do that. But my whole thing is, okay, I get it that you guys weren't gonna like clean the bathroom or whatever to perfection. That's fine. But at least get rid of the clothes and drain out the water that his body was set in. So if it was 2, 3 weeks or however long it was, few days later after they finally let the mom in, can you imagine walking in and sitting in the bath water that your son drowned in and still sitting in the tub?
Yeah, that is very distasteful. I feel like. Now, I will say this. Where is the rest of the family? Because I feel like somebody should have um, had taken ownership in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, she's lost a child,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody should have saw to it that when she came back home, that stuff was taken care of.
Right. Well, right at like a week or two after his death, Nick Carter was being he's being sued for, is it rape? I don't know what
I
it,
don't know. I don't even know exactly what the charges
it was
are.
rape or something like that. It was something about he had sex. This girl who was apparently had some type of disability. He had sex. He basically forced her to have sex with him, some mess like that. So that was like 2 weeks after his death. So I get that he didn't want to deal with like my brother just died now being sued for rape and all this other kind of shit. I get it. He didn't want nothing to deal with it. I don't know if they had any of the siblings outside of just Aaron and Nick. Um, the father, I don't know where he's at either. But like you said, somebody in that family should have stepped in and made sure that the mom didn't walk into that.
Yeah, I feel like the family has enough money, and I believe, if I can remember correctly, the original story said that one of the was it the maid or who was it that went to knock on the door?
Was it the maid? It was somebody. It might have even been a girlfriend. I don't his girlfriend at the time. I have no idea who discovered him. It might have been a maid though.
I remember somebody had came to the door, knocked on it, he didn't respond, and came back, or they were persistent about it, and then that's when they discovered him, or something to that.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
yeah.
But I hope that Aaron Carter, I say Aaron Carter, yes, Aaron Carter, mom gets some type of peace and justice in this matter and it's just crazy. I believe she might end up hiring a private investigator to like look into this, but if it come out that the police did mishandle this, somebody gonna get it. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-mm.
So you guys don't know this was a big story with the Mexican cartels killing the was it 2 Americans or 3?
Two got killed, but I think it was four that went down there.
Okay, so it was a group of friends. I think the women were going to get some plastic surgery done. They said it's a mistaken identity and they kidnapped these people and basically off them. And the Mexican cartel did the Mexican cartel HR department did its own investigation and found out the people who was responsible for it and left a note, left the sending note, or gave turned the people over to the police with a note or whatever. It said that the Mexican cartel had nothing to do with this. First thing first.
Well, they apologized, I
Yeah,
thought.
they apologize, yeah. So but first thing first. That Mexican HR department, they worked real fast to find out who was behind that. I wish when I file a complaint against the company that they work as hard as the Mexican cartel HR department did to find out who's responsible for that. How come our own damn government can't find out who's responsible for something that fast? It takes them it took them 18 years to find out Obama. Not I said Obama. Osama bin Laden was responsible for 9/11 and all this other kind of stuff. I'm just saying it takes our government a long time to find out some stuff. I'm just saying. But anyway, I forgot where I was going. I went on a rant and forgot everybody. No judge.
So that's very unfortunate, right? So it was two men that were killed because of mistaken identity. I'm really curious as to how or who they were mistaken for,
Talking about
because
they were
they were
smuggling
African
drugs.
American.
I said, black people, we don't. They know we know better. We're not going to smuggle no cocaine and heroin and stuff like that across the border. Because to be honest, black people driving across the border coming from Mexico, we getting stopped automatically. So why would you think that the black people is smuggling?
I have no idea. I didn't even know they thought drugs were involved. I know I was reading one article where they thought one of the men, something along the lines where somebody had a conversation within the group and one of the people were going to go help out a friend. I don't even know what that means.
Mm.
I do know the area that they were in. It's a high traffic area for cosmetic and plastic procedures.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally on the other side of the border from Texas and Mexico, I believe. Um, so it's really interesting kind of how all of that went down. I would assume, you think black people in Mexico, how were they mistaken for somebody else? It's just because the
Mm-hmm.
area that they were in do see larger groups of diverse groups of people because of that cosmetic surgery culture that comes there,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's just and then a lot of people, everybody know I'm going on a cruise at the end of the year. So I hope you ain't going to Mexico. Like, don't go to Mexico. I'm like, first of all, I'm not going to Mexico City. This is where this happened at. I'm not going into the heart of Mexico City. I'm going to tourist destinations. Like, they're not going. The cartel is not that dumb to go in tourist destination areas and just start kidnapping random American people.
Uh,
I mean, because after I'm just
Cancun. There
saying.
was a lot of stuff going on in Cancun quite a few times.
I mean,
People
yeah,
had
but
came, came up
but you think
missing.
about it though, there's only so many Americans you could kidnap before the U.S. Army is coming in there shooting up some stuff. I'm just saying they know their limits,
Yes, they do, but at the same time, um, I don't
and I
think
don't
that's
feel
really
like
the
that
way
was
it works.
mostly the cartel that was like killing. Cause they were really they were being drugged and then killed. So I don't think that's like the cartel style of taking somebody out. Like we just gonna drug them and then make it look like an overdose. Like that don't seem like the cartel style. That just seemed like a normal local style, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah,
Cartel, they believe in fast deaths.
yeah, unless they feel like you got some information they need.
Exactly. I mean, what do a normal tourist gonna have some information on?
They didn't. I don't think they thought they were normal tourists.
I'm just saying in general when it was drugging the people.
Oh, I think the people that were coming up missing and stuff like that, they probably were trying to put them into like trafficking and stuff like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. Like it had to be, something else besides, drugs and stuff like that is what I'm saying. I'm just saying like when it comes to like oh, they don't want to be sex trafficked, okay, we're gonna make it look like a slow, painful death. I can see that. But I can see them being a part of that. But when it comes to like how they was the other people was killed, like oh no, that was straight cartel. But I'm just saying, I feel like so like if you go to like Cozumel, Mexico, and all the and other kind of places where cruise ships go, yeah, to me personally, I felt safe when I went. So
Fair enough.
and they were very nice and made good liquor.
Oh my goodness. That's how they get you.
I know, right? And my dumb ass fell for it. But anyway, and the thing about it is the liquor was free too. But that's how they got me.
I remember that it was windy.
Hmm.
It
It was windy.
was windy that day. You called me
Yeah, it
for them
was Wednesday.
shenanigans.
Oh, we know I be drinking sometimes, you know.
I'm drinking right now.
Oh, I should have had me a drink. So speaking of our U.S. government, so there was a bank that I don't know how to put it. So this bank which is was known for, I think it's called Silicon Valley Bank, and they were known for helping, like, so they had people who had like large amounts of money because they were known for helping people with startups for companies and stuff like businesses. So I guess to get shareholders in or to just to draw money or whatever how they was doing it. So basically they were buying bonds or had bonds at a 1.5%, increase rate, which is somebody who banks at Chase or something like that. There's like 5% or something like that. So basically this company had very low interest on interest rates. So what they did was, so what ended up something ended up happening, and basically they sold these bonds only had like 1.5% interest to somebody else. I think they had 5% interest. So basically they lost, millions of dollars basically, and that caused people to go into a panic who had money there. So there were people withdrawing all their money out and all these other kind of things. And when people started doing that, it caused all the other financial institutions to start, losing money and stuff like that. So it was a second bank also. So over the weekend, Congress had to have this whole emergency meeting, like how do we fix this thing, because they were not going to do another bank bailout. So they have this thing called, I believe it's FDC, that all these banks pay into, and that's what their money came from, to help these banks, kind of offset that money that they were losing, to cause for we don't have another a bank financial collapse or whatever. Um, they said one of the reasons why this was happening was, they said, because there were certain policies that was put into place during the Obama administration so that things like this wouldn't happen. And like you said, some of these other banks who are not large institutions or smaller banks, they're community banks, they're supposed to pay into it.
Mm.
Trump, when he got in office, he decides to get rid of it. Like, there's no use for it. So now we had these people who were mismanaging money and doing all these other kind of things. And then they was wondering, like, the people who are in charge, did they see this coming, and when they knew it was coming, what did they do to try to fix it and try to prevent this from happening? So there's this whole entire investigation going on. The Republicans think that the bank system collapsing is because of the woke movement.
I mean, it's a lot of people that don't want to put their money into banks.
No, they said because the woke people, the reason why the bank system is failing, because the woke people are pushing for too much diversity. That's why the banking system is failing.
Diversity, how?
They're pushing for too much how can I say, hiring black workers and Mexican workers and helping, minorities get loans and all this kind of stuff. They were putting too much effort and time into that, and then that's why the banking system failed. They also stated, some of them were saying, the reason why the railroad track, these trains have been derailing because of the woke people, because they're spending too much time diversifying, having diversified workers and all these other kind of things, that's the reason why the train collapsed, because they would just hire, you know, people to just come in and do the job, no matter what the race was, or a certain race of people to come in and do the job and do the repairs or whatever needs to be done. That the railroads wouldn't have derailed, the trains wouldn't have derailed. So they're trying to say diversity is the reason why these things are happening in the world, because they're too focused on diversity instead of just hiring people to do the jobs.
That's a crock of shit. Somebody should just be hired if they.
Are qualified.
Yes, it has nothing to do with your gender or skin color. Has nothing to do with that. If you can do the job, you can just do the job. Like,
Exactly. That's so. When I was
Whose
listening,
granddaddy came up with that explanation?
it is so many people on the Republican side who really think that this whole woke culture is the reason why the banking system is failing, and all these other things is happening. I'm like, to me,
The banking system is failing probably because people are not taking out as many loans as they did before, like car loans, home loans, things of that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as like interest rates on certain things, they had dropped because of COVID. Like I feel like it was more a pandemic related
so
issue than
that's another thing
anything.
they were saying that because due to low interest rates during 2021, is 2021 is another reason why the banking system failed. I'm like,
Well, guess who makes the interest rates for the banks? It's the federal government. Who's part of the federal government? The
uh,
large majority of the federal government is not minorities.
exactly.
So what are we talking about here?
They just refuse to blame themselves for the reason why the banking system is failing. And if this banking system continue to fail, then we're going to see a repeat of what happened when what was it, when Bush was in office. And we're going to be what, in a double reception? That's a reception. Lord have mercy, recession. Because I mean, just make it make sense. It's like we're in another. It's like we already, and they keep saying we're not in a recession right now, but we are. Like, look at the price of food, the price of gas, the price of living, and like everything is so expensive right now. And but yeah, they want to keep yelling that everything is fine. We're not in a recession and all this other kind of stuff. Oh, you know, people don't need this and people don't need that. That just like when they were saying like the U.S. being involved in the Ukraine war was the waste of money, but at the same time, you Republicans are the ones who said, "Okay, give them the money." You guys were. It wasn't just Democrats; it was Republicans also that was buying them guns and buying them tanks and war machines. You're still building them tanks and war machines, and on top of giving them money, you guys did all that. Like one tank is like $1 million and some dollars
Well, you know why they doing that? They get something out of it.
because
In all
Ukraine
honesty,
has a very large supply of oil,
there you go. That's all it is.
and
That's
that's
what
all
it
it is.
is.
It was like I'm like, at what point do y'all just really point the finger at yourselves? Like, yeah, we fucked up the last couple of years.
It is what it is. Maybe they made a deal and say, "Hey, we give you this, you know, like a bartering system. We give you these weapons of mass destruction if you give us some of your oil."
But then on top of that, though, we have was it North Korea or something like that, and Russia partnering up together shooting missiles at the U.S. So now we're on the verge of a world war.
Well, I will say, and this is just my opinion. I mean, Russia has always been known to be a little flamboyant with their conflicts, choices of conflict.
Hmm.
Um, South Korea, I'm not really too sure about them, you know, but Russia is staying true to themselves. I mean, I can't say nobody didn't see that coming.
So,
Uh,
so in my head, because of what Trump released a statement on, because he's running for president in 2024.
mm,
Um, so here's the thing. I feel
me
like
too.
this
Tina for
whole
president.
Russian, this
I mean, at this point,
right.
Tina for president.
I feel like Russia invading Ukraine was Trump idea. I
Could be.
feel like it was Trump's idea since he didn't get reelected to cause chaos. Like I said, he had all those government secrets at his house. Who's to say that he didn't release get all them government secrets to Russia?
Could be.
So, and then on top of that, or so then on top, I feel like Trump is creating all this chaos to make Biden look so incompetent so that he can get not really reelected as president. And according to Trump, and this is what really made me think that Trump has something to do with this war or creating this war. He said at one of his interviews or whatever they call them thing, they go out and do rallies and stuff. Uh he said if I was to get reelected to his office within a few hours, the war in Russia and Ukraine would be over.
Yeah, but at what
Just like
cost?
that.
But at what cost though? Like you gotta give something to get something. So what is he giving them?
Because he started it. He be like, okay, you help me one, you can back out.
I mean, yes and no. So now you got a lot of people invested in this war, and lives have been lost. So
Hmm.
you can have somebody say, "Okay, the war is ended," but that don't mean that the people are going to stop fighting.
True.
You know, look at how long the Vietnam conflict went on. They never said it was a war.
True.
So it really depends. Like he can say that, but in all reality, because we're not over there in the day to day, we really don't know what's going on. We only know what's going on based off of the media, right? News.
Hmm.
Unless you're connected to somebody that's over there, then maybe or maybe not, they might tell you what's going on, but then they probably bound by NDA, a non-disclosure. You know, certain things are classified. So it's all a matter. It's so many players in this game, you know, and then
Hmm.
you have your Secretary of Defense. A lot of times their job is to advise the president on matters of war, right? So I don't
Hmm.
even know who the Secretary of Defense was at that time or now. I believe all of them were replaced or something like that because they quit. I don't know. The whole cabinet was like wiped out pretty much, wasn't they, during Trump?
Yeah, they was quitting left and right.
Yeah. So I mean, then why is there a mass exodus? Too. Like what was going on? So it's a lot of hidden things behind that. And I mean, honestly, the president can say we're gonna do this, but then you got the House and the Senate that says no, you're not. It's a system of checks and balances. You know. Uh,
That don't exist no more.
so well, it's supposed to, right? But
It's
if it
supposed to,
don't,
but it
then
doesn't.
but it I mean it so that comes back to people that need to be the woke generation. So what y'all gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I mean, I look at it as I mean the American government, it's a great idea, but it's ran poorly, you know.
Hmm.
So I mean I really don't what they say about people putting people on the banks and on the railroad systems. They just put people in there
Yeah,
with a
they
lack of qualifications.
you need just put the people in there. Don't worry about their race. If you just to me, it's like they were saying if y'all would have hired all white people to work in these positions, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, it's a whole lot of things happening where it's an abundance of not minorities, the majority going on. It's a whole lot of shenanigans happening. So I feel like idiocy is abundant no matter what the race. So I mean, it just is what it is. Work ethic ain't the same. Loyalty is to your country is not the same anymore. Hell, I don't
Hmm.
know. I think they tried to get him for treason, but it didn't stick or something like that, you know. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's a lot of hidden agendas going on. We don't know what those promises were made behind doors, and those deals, those things that were signed. We're all the little people that we're noticing things kind of trickling down, and it's probably been in play for quite possibly before he even got into office. And usually,
But
it's been a lot of times where the American government has been known to put
wait,
somebody, place
hold the hell,
somebody as president.
hold the hell on 1 second. I just thought about something. Wasn't Trump subpoenaed to court and never went to court because he was facing treason? Because I know there was a second invasion going on after the whole
Something happened that where
when the FBI, oh, I don't hit this damn button, after the FBI had took all that stuff out to his house and all that other kind of stuff. There was a hearing going on. They had all these people testifying, and there's the people who were working for Trump and in the cabinet were saying, yeah, he was on some bogus shit, pretty much. I remember him being subpoenaed to court. I remember some subpoenas going out. Some subpoenas was going out, and I remember them going out. I just thought about how this man on the road rallying for president, but he ain't show up for court. Like, why this man ain't been arrested?
there you go. That's why I be talking about that type of stuff right there. That's
I'm like, they
exactly what
know
I
where
be
he
talking
at.
about.
So it's like,
Of course, we know where he at.
why ain't he been arrested?
I know he was charged with, was it bank fraud or tax fraud or something? Tax fraud,
He
wasn't
did,
it?
yeah. He was charged with the whole tax stuff because he did not pay no taxes at all in like last couple of years.
Are we
Yeah.
surprised?
Hell,
No.
me and you both pay more taxes than him.
Are we surprised?
No, not really. The
Exactly.
rich people don't believe the rich people don't have to pay taxes. Only the poor and the middle class people do.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot of moving parts, like I said, in this game. A game that I would never get into. I'm
Mm,
good. I would never be in politics ever.
never, never, ever.
I'll be blowing my whistle so hard, y'all come find me nailed to the cross in my front yard. The government would never not be corrupt.
And that's
Never.
a shame that the government is so corrupt the way it is. Speaking of government again, in Alaska, they passed the bill, but first they introduced this bill. They talked about the bill on a Twitter account that only had 46 followers, so that way nobody know about it. So they made it seem like they put it out in the public for everybody, for people to know about it, but they didn't really put it on there. So they passed this bill to allow. So it was a bill at first that was put into place to protect the LGBTQ community from discrimination. And then now Alaska's just passed a bill saying it's okay to discriminate again.
What? Yes and no. So
Hey, that's how it looks.
so basically the problem is they're saying that the verbiage is not there stating that um it's not a protected class outside of employment. That's what it said. They're saying that is what's in within the federal law. It's not a protected class outside of the um
At the local level, right?
they said in the fed it said it's in the federal government, so the state is not gonna uphold it because it's not a federal law.
Mm,
That was their out right there.
right. Uh,
Right? That's the loophole.
excuse LGBTQ members of Alaska. Can y'all let us know how life is over there for y'all? Is y'all okay over there? Because we're not okay down here. If you haven't got the word yet about what's been going down here in the lower states area, over here in the normal part of the country. Let us know if y'all okay. Let us know what's going on with y'all. What y'all think is going on over there with these bills and stuff. Just let us know. Come talk to us. Because they passing all these laws and bills and stuff. Now it's gonna make that the LGBTQ community is like they try to make them go back in closets and disappear all over again.
So I'm really surprised, unless I just been living under a rock somewhere. I haven't really seen any protesting in the streets for this.
So there was this one congresswoman in Kentucky. She held rallies. So people have held rallies. They were holding the rallies for the whole trans thing where they were trying to ban trans kids from getting the medications and stuff. So there's been rallies and stuff, but then like I said, it's mostly these laws are being passed in the Republican states. Like Florida already got the Don't Say Gay bill. And then Florida, I mean, then the governor, he took away Disney World's, tax whatever incentives that they have. So now they gotta pay taxes like in Florida, like any other corporation does now, which is gonna cost Disney a lot of money. But because they stood up for the community, they said like, no, we're gonna we well, they stood up for diversity and they stood up for the LGBTQ community. Like they were mad because, like I said, they were mad because they hired the black girl to play the Little Mermaid girl. So they were still mad about that. So when this
Get
whole
over
thing
it.
happened,
First of all, look, I got a rant. First of all, hypothetically, mermaids don't even exist. So how you gonna be mad about a fictional being a different color? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It's a
yeah,
fictional character. It can be whatever it want to be.
right.
I digress.
Um.
Mhm.
So yeah, with that being with Disney, on top of that, so Disney, when it came to like their water and stuff like that, they were cleaning their own water. They had their own like water treatment system with everything.
There was
So that
self-sustained.
yeah, so they was like their own little sustained city. So now with
Hmm.
this being said, Disney with them doing that to Disney is no longer required to do any of the stuff that they were doing. Disney was picking up the tax bill for some of like the that area. So like now homeowners are gonna have to pick up the bill for Disney on their property taxes now for Disney World and all these other kind of things. So now you're costing your own citizens more money. And then um majority of the state of Florida is employed by Disney. So if Disney was to say, you know what, we're shutting down, we packing up and leaving, majority of the jobs in your city is going like Disneyland employs over 1 million people or something like that. They were saying
I
they
have
have a
family that
lot
work
of
at Disney.
employees.
I have family that work at Disney.
Yeah, so they have a lot of employees. So if Disney was to decide to shut down and move out of Florida, a big I mean, that was like besides people going to Miami, what else do people go to Florida for? They go for Disney World.
Retirement. So usually that's where a lot of people go to retirement.
Yeah,
Retire.
but now
That's
with
it.
Disney being gone, and like so I'm talking about for like travelers, for like tourists. Like a
Ain't
lot of
nobody
your
coming
money
there.
comes from tourists. So
Mhm.
if Disney is not there, what money do you have coming into your state really? Because majority of your money from tourists is either coming from people going to South Beach and Disney. And so if Disney is not there, what else do you have left?
It's a bunch of
Oh,
stupids.
but they got Universal Studios, I think is there too. But
So what?
I don't know who. Yeah, but everybody prefer the Universal Studios in California over the one in Florida anyway. So, but anyway, like I was saying, so it's like it's a huge chunk of that economy that's going to be gone if Disney chooses to pack up and leave. Like we're packing up Disney World and leaving.
You know? Yeah. Well, sounds
So
like somebody put their foot in their mouth, didn't
yeah, and then
it?
this man has the nerves to be trying to run for president. On top of that.
Oh my God.
And then didn't know that then it's a Florida law that if you run for president, you have to step down as governor.
Yep.
So it's like it's just so much stuff going on. Like it's so many hate bills that's been introduced. I can't even say last year wasn't even like this year alone, and we only 3 months into this year, and there's been so many hate bills put forward. Like, why is we dealing with so much hate in 2023? I feel like like the world was fine, like the country was fine until Trump got in office.
I feel
And
like they gearing up for another Republican to take the presidency. That's what it sounds like to me.
I feel like we gearing up for another civil war.
Well, I won't really say a civil war. I would say unrest because these woke people ain't gonna join nobody's nothing, are they? I mean, it's just gonna be a bunch of rebels.
I mean, true. I feel like I just got this feeling that something is coming. I don't know what it is, but I just have a feeling that something is coming.
Yeah, we're not even into the warm months yet here for our part of the region. So I'm really, aching to see like once everybody get to going coming outside and partaking and trying to partake in some of these things and they noticing the changes because they may not notice it or see how it's going to affect them just yet, right?
Hmm.
So once they start feeling the effects, I feel like that's when people will start clamoring, together and say, hey, what the hell y'all doing? Like,
Right.
wait, I didn't know that was going on. So it's just really it's disgusting to me. Just really because I feel like what is the need? Like what is the why behind it? You know, and it's like nobody can really give us the why behind a lot
I
of
mean,
what
a lot of these
is
bills are
going
put
on.
forth because they're saying it's not part of their beliefs, but
A part
y'all
of who believes.
that their beliefs. The person who wrote the bills or these writing these bills are saying,
Mhm.
well, it's not part. I don't believe in this. It's not part of my beliefs.
Mhm.
But like you said, but like that I said on the last episode that Republican guy said, well, How is it for right for you to put your beliefs onto somebody, and but yet you telling somebody else that their beliefs is wrong and they shouldn't push their agenda when they're not really pushing their agenda, they're just living their lives.
Yes. So, I mean, it's a lot of right free speech. We have a right to our free speech, and I feel like that kind of fall underneath that umbrella. You know, um, I really don't understand, like, out of all the things that is wrong with this country, like, why that? Or why these things? Or why,
Mm.
like,
Why
I'm
haven't y'all
still,
why haven't y'all fixed mass murders in school? Why is it that they're making whiteboards where the teacher pulls out and it's supposed to have a door attached that she can close the door to it and it's supposed to be bulletproof? Like why aren't you figuring out how to stop kids from getting killed in school? Why are you trying to figure out how to stop guns from getting on the street? Why are you trying to fix hunger that's going on in America? Why aren't you trying to fix the cost of rent, the price of rent? Guys, there's a lot more stuff in this that needs to be fixed. But instead, you're worrying about drag queens reading to children.
my
You're
point
upset
exactly.
about drag queens reading to children. And the thing about it is, you Republicans, none of y'all gonna take the time to go into a school and read to some children. So why is it wrong for a drag queen to go read to children? Like these children gonna look at this drag queen like, bitch, I'm gay. Like, no, that's not how it works.
I feel so. I don't know if you remember this or not because I'm older than you, way older
Yeah,
than
yeah,
you.
you're old. You old as hell. Ooh, you older than Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry.
Um, Once upon a time, parents had to sign a waiver for their child to attend health class.
Hmm.
So, I mean, and still some things I notice when I go through my twice a year paperwork for my kids in schools, it's a lot of waivers that they have, including like posting pictures of your child on a website or in a publication or something like that. So
Hmm.
I feel like if they really that tight about it, and the drag queens were invited to come do this sort of thing, like, okay, have the parents sign a waiver if it's really that bad, but not force, people to say, no, you can't do this anymore because that's not right. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I guess I don't understand any of that. And then as far as them not being able to perform in public, like that's really, really stupid to me because then you need to ban everything and everybody.
And then, but on top of that, on TikTok, I had saw this woman. She took her kids to a drag show on purpose to figure out was it gonna make her kids act any different. Her kids loved the drag queens. They had fun. They danced with the drag queens and everything.
It's a
So
show.
she said, "This is very harmless. I don't understand what all the hoo ha is about." And then on top of that, they made it seem like the drag queen showed up in full drag in the school, like they went to the schools uninvited in full drag and said, "Bitch, I'm here to read to the children." They didn't do that.
Who decided that makeup was only for women?
They're just like even with like straight men now. You see a lot of them go on to get their nails done and colorful colors and all this other kind of stuff. Like they go and get their nails and everything done. And you see them doing that now. Like you see them wearing makeup now. Like it's this one guy I seen online. He because he wears makeup in the morning because of he's trying to cover up some stuff. So he wears makeup and stuff. He's a straight man that has a whole wife or has a whole skin routine where he get up in the morning and put on his makeup and stuff. So I don't understand what the big deal is for a straight man to do these things, but then when a gay man decides he want to do these things, it's wrong.
People on TV wear makeup all the time in movies, right? They wear makeup to
Yeah.
news
News
anchors,
anchors, I'm gonna say news
sports. Yeah, they all wear
sports,
makeup.
let's say athletes, no matter what kind of athlete they are, they wear. Hell, the president, Donald Trump has worn makeup. Like everybody wears makeup. If you're of a certain status, you wearing makeups because you need to look a certain way. So I don't understand what's the big deal over these people wearing makeup and making money off of this as a living. Like that was their income. And now these people don't have an income because now you don't took that away from them. These people were self-employed, paying their own taxes, not relying on the government or anything of these natures, but yet you took away their income.
Who
Like
have?
they were basically their own company or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
That's
took that away because some drag queens read to kids in the school.
that was the final straw.
I guess that was the final straw. I just don't understand.
Let's rewind back to when George Bush was reading to them kids when 9/11 hit.
Right. Y'all ain't mad about that. He probably had makeup on when he was doing that. I'm just saying. He had no makeup.
It was the stuck face for me when he was like, it was the stare for me. Like, sir, did you forget how to read? Like, what's going
Right.
on here?
Hey, what's his name? Aaron Maven from Fox 6 WISN 12, wherever the fuck, one of the local news stations here. Hell, he went to go read this kid. You see them ugly ass boots he was wearing though when he went to
I
go read
didn't
to the
see the
kids?
boots. No.
Oh my god, them boots was ugly as a motherfucker. I said, why he got these big long ass boots reading to these kids? But he gay as hell. But do you see anybody protesting against him reading to the kids? No, just because he's well, he do seem kind of feminine. But since I guess he ain't in heels and wig, have on a wig and heels and stuff, it was okay for him to read to the children.
We can go on. We can go on. We can go on and on about this. Like, we can talk about the discrimination between the different departments that in their tattoos.
No, yeah.
Like, we can go into a whole list of things and colors of hair. Like, I had to dye my hair color, even though they hired me with a certain hair color. And oh no, you can't have any tattoos showing. And I'm walking around in turtlenecks at work hot.
Mm-hmm.
But then meanwhile, we have other departments walking around. They got whole neck, green hair, full sleeves, and all color, just walking around fine and dandy. And it's so crazy because the handbook and the entity said that each department can make its own rules, basically. So kind of like the government, right? You got your
Right.
federal government, you got your state governments, and then each department, our department mainly was like, hey, y'all can't do this. Why?
Right.
How come they can do it, but we
Politics.
can't? And we're dealing with the same people.
And now I can wear blue hair. Now my tips is blue, but now they don't. I can walk around with my tattoos showing. 'Cause they used to be on me about my tattoo showing on my arm and stuff. Like y'all doing too much.
Nose piercings,
Right?
like,
You have to put a band-aid. Like you want me to walk around with 49 band-aids on my face.
and I feel like that's more distracting than the actual tattoo or the piercing. Now, don't get me wrong, if you do have a tattoo that is
Fuck you, bitch.
distasteful, right, or some naked people or something like that, then I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get that part. But
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole scripture on my arm and I had to cover it. But it's a Lutheran entity. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, just things that matter. I feel like it's all a matter of perception. I feel like people's perceptions change over time, especially with the new generations. Things are much different with each generation. I do feel like because we still have um, parents, grandmothers, great grandparents that were brought up in these ages. Kind of some of that stuff is still kind of lingering around, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel like rules and laws are needed to keep this country running. But I feel like when it comes down to like this little piddly stuff, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I said before, they are focusing on the wrong things. Like, I mean, half of the schools in our county, public schools, are terrible. I had a public school education and it was superb when I was coming up in the same community. Now they're terrible. It's just they come, these teachers are overwhelmed. Nobody wants to be a teacher anymore.
Very small budgets.
Very small budgets, very small compensation, and it's like not only are you trying to teach a classroom of 30 plus students and everybody learns differently. You're trying to come up with a teaching plan so everybody can succeed because this is your passion is teaching. And
I
it's just
My
like,
senior year in high school, one of my classes, we had a total of 56 kids in one class. The classroom wasn't even big enough to hold 56 students.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, this is not a lecture hall. This is not something elected that people say, oh, okay, when I know I go to this university, I'm possibly going to be sitting in a lecture hall of 300 plus students. You know, no, this is a requirement. Like, you got to go through kindergarten through 12th grade. That's like a
Mhm.
requirement. You're not going to get a job most of the time without that piece of paper, you know? So, like, why can we not make it, you know, the schools to be better? It's terrible. I feel like that's where it starts out, right there. Because I'm, you know, who finna want to babysit 50 plus kids because they not paying attention? You know, like, no, like,
Mhm.
nobody wants to do that. And there's the after school activities had dwindled. I don't know any kid that know how to play a musical instrument like that anymore.
So music class don't get exist unless you go to like an art school.
Yeah, art school, or you got to pay for it out your pocket. Like, it came
Mhm.
along with my education when I was growing up. You
Mhm.
know, just things of that matter. I don't really hear about field trips too much anymore.
Nope.
You know, so it's just really, really just it's sad. It's really sad. You know, and then you like the economy sucks. So then it's like if you want to put your kid in a private school, you got to pay for it. But how you going to afford it
Exactly. And
for
I
them to
feel
get a better
that
education?
that's one of the reasons why I feel like the school system is so bad because they let anyone and anybody open up a school. There have been so many unnecessary schools that it has opened that are not, no, a public school. I feel like there needs to be a limit on how many private schools there are because one of the reasons why they feel like they don't have to put so much funding into public schools is just the simple fact that all the students are in private school. Like people are sending their kids to like private schools. So why are we putting all this money into MPS or public schools and stuff like that? Um, because I remember back in my day, which as I gotten older, they stopped doing. But like we used to have schools where it was kindergarten through fifth grade,
Yep.
and then after that, you went through to another school, which was middle school, from sixth to eighth grade, which is just strictly sixth to eighth grade students.
Also known as junior high.
And you have junior high school, and then you had your ninth to 12th grade for high schools. Now they have it where you can go to the same school from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. Like to me, I don't like that idea. That's a big no-no because I feel like, these kids who are 18 or 19, some 20, 21, still in high school, you have these adults doing adult things around children,
Mm-hmm.
young children. So these younger children are seeing these adults do these adult things. Those are this shouldn't be mixed together. Like no,
Mm-mm.
this is it should be mixed together. I don't like that. I honestly do not like that whatsoever. So like, and I
So
feel like so like for me, I went to
my kids' school, everything was located in the same area, but they had different buildings for those age groups. So I like that idea. Like kindergarten, they had
see
a
yeah
kindergarten building. You know what I'm saying? They
yeah,
have a high school
but
building.
think about like Hopkins Street School. Like I think they
Mhm.
they went from kindergarten to 12th grade. Now that's not made that's not made for you know to separate the students. So
Mhm.
like for me, I went from a high school from sixth grade until I graduated high school. So I went to North Division, and like I said, when I was in, so I'm here in the sixth grade. But when I'm walking the halls, or if I venture outside of because it's basically like a little L-shaped area that was considered like the middle school area. Once you venture outside that area, you're around adults. So now I'm 12, 13 years old, wherever age you go into middle school. I'm around adults that's about to grade hit adulthood and go into life. So
Mhm.
now I'm watching these adults do shit that I probably shouldn't be seeing. I'm just saying. So it's like it just shouldn't mix. Now I feel like one of the reasons why I have the maturity level that I do. Only good thing that came out of that was the fact that I was around these older people. So by the time I got to actual high school, like high school grade, I was like a lot more mature for my age, I should say. Like like considered compared to the people who came from an elementary school or actual middle school coming into actual high school for their freshman year compared to somebody who's already been in a high school for 3 years already. It's like the maturity level is a bit different.
And I mean, just the transition of going to different environments is a good experience too.
True.
So that was the really big thing. Kids used to get excited. Oh, I'm going to get to go to a new school. You're going to be around different and new people, different teachers, things like that. So just that transition, because I mean, that's what life is about, right? Transitions. So they
Hmm.
kind of rob the kids of that. But I believe just because of funding and lack of staff, that's why they kind of collapse junior high into the elementary level, because they just really didn't have the manpower to have separate buildings. And it was really sad to see a lot of those historic buildings closed down in our city, because they were older buildings, but they were iconic. You grew up. Well, what middle school did you go to? What did you, woo, did you? Or
Hmm.
just like my middle school transitioned into a high school building. Morris went into Marshall. Why? It's really stupid to me. I didn't understand that. So something else, like you're saying, just the environment. Morris was a school of gifted and talented. Why would you put them in Marshall High School?
Oh, and Marshall was a terrible school.
That part. So none of that made sense to me. If you're gonna put Morris somewhere, put them in King
Hmm.
or Riverside, or spread these. It made absolutely no sense to me. Or even put them in John Muir, because John Muir was considered a school of the gifted and talented. I mean, go to my ear, excuse me. And do you remember John Muir?
Hmm.
So, those were all schools for gifted and talented students. And I just,
They all disappeared.
so go to my ear is still around. John Muir is not. Um, Morris is called Morris Marshall, I think, or something like that now. But you just got the students
I
like,
mean, that's just like Malcolm, like the Malcolm X Middle School. They added a high school to it, and then once they added the high school to it, a year later they moved it into North Division and called it African American Immersion High School.
or how they put Lady Pitts inside of Custer.
Exactly. Disasters. I
You
like
know.
the small school feel. So, like, I went to a small school. So, what I mean by small school was we had probably 300 students or less.
Hmm.
So, which means all of my classes at that time were no bigger than 22 students per class.
Hmm.
So the teachers had more time to give students individual help. Teachers
Hmm.
had more time to pay attention to kids who wasn't paying attention.
Hmm.
For the kids like me who got in trouble for not paying attention, be sitting in class talking and ribbon, and then get your whole entire government name yelled out at you. Stuff like that. Like they have the time to invest in the kid future, which they don't have now. Um, Oh my God, we already had our so to wrap things up. AT&T, I just want you to know that y'all full of shit. And y'all can kiss my black ashy ass, and y'all has
It's
poor
ashy,
customer
y'all.
service. It's ashy as hell right now. Y'all got poor customer service. Any reason why y'all lying is still down in my backyard, and then got the nerve to text me today and tell me that the technician might not be able to come in my house due to COVID after you told me on the phone that, oh, it's something wrong with your internet line, and the technician might have to come in and check out your modem and stuff. Really? But then you don't see me a text message saying the technician can't come in the house probably due to COVID and all this other kind of stuff. What y'all sorry as hell. Y'all the AT&T line is laying on top of my garage and laying on my my backyard ground right now.
Oh.
I saw a whole raccoon because it was just a raccoon up the alley a few days ago. Almost ran him over and leave him one day because he pulled somebody garbage out, bag garbage out. Somebody garbage can was eating it. But that whole raccoon could come in my backyard right now and chewing that line. Boom, a whole house going up in flames. I called them on Saturday. I called them Saturday, March 6th. I don't know. I think that was Saturday. I don't know. Today is March 14th. They still ain't came yet.
That's sad. That's sad.
Well, what is that? Whatever Saturday was, I don't know what the date was for Saturday. It was probably the 8th or the 10th. I don't know, but it's the 14th now, and they still ain't. It's been a whole week since that snowstorm that we had, and they still ain't came here yet. Talking about they don't have enough technicians.
They probably don't.
That ain't my problem. But the thing is, though, I've seen technicians in the area working. So if you have technicians in the area working, why not just knock out two birds with one stone? Like, oh, we got a house around the corner who says their line is down. Let us just go over there and get their line back up instead of making people wait 8-9 days for y'all to come out here and fix the line.
You would
And then
think in the event of an outage, they would just like assign people to certain areas.
luckily my internet and stuff still work because I think we were trying to do the podcast Thursday. That's why I was having issues with the Wi-Fi. So it's like, come on now. It's like, come fix the shit. Then I'm like, then with the money y'all paying and stuff, then she'll say, well, if the technician have to do any kind of repairs, you're gonna have to pay. No, I'm not. I don't pay extra insurance money for me to have to pay for anything.
What they mean? They're gonna have to put that line back up.
Exactly. Talking about if it's something that was if something needs to be repaired and it's not on AT&T's side or something like that, like AT&T's fault, that you're gonna have to pay for it. Like what? First of all, you think I'm out there swinging from an electrical line? Like, what do you think is going on here? I can't stand these people. I just can't. I'm tired of people. And they lucky my internet still works. So I be calling them back every day, raising all kind of hell because guess what? Everything in my house run off the internet.
Just like everybody else. I probably would have been sitting in a lobby like, sir, ma'am, you're gonna have to remove your ski mask now.
Because I'm like, hell, my stream, I can't watch TV without the internet. I can't do the podcast without the internet. I can't hear a microwave without the internet. Hell, everything runs through the internet. I'm just saying. With that being said, my final thought is the government is y'all a piece of shit. Y'all need to get y'all shit together, and y'all need to stop making all these anti-LGBT laws. And then y'all need to go to hell if y'all not down with that, because we got 2 words for you: suck it.
My final thoughts are the same. I really feel like that we need to go back and concentrate on some of the more important issues within our country. It's kind of boost the morale, think of more creative ways to boost our economy, so we can get people spending back into our country, and it's just a full circle. You can't have a circle with missing pieces. You got to have one continuous thing going on. So if all parts are not working, none of it is going to work. And that's where we are right now. We just kind of stuck in limbo, and it's sad. Get y'all shit together.
Word. Don't forget to head over to habitsnewyork.com and use code Anthony4 to receive 20% off your purchase. And then don't forget to head over to repsports.com to get a discount on all your good energy drinks and proteins, powders, and whatever muscle stuff, whatever you need. Make sure you use code Martel1 for 5 to 10% off. I don't know. It's either 5 or 10% that you get. It's one of the two that y'all get. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for our subscription service. Subscribe to us on YouTube too. We need some YouTube followers. Make sure y'all go subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe to ours. Or go on Spotify to get the bonus content under the subscription service. But that's gonna be coming out. Go subscribe. And thank y'all for tuning into this episode. My nose is itchy as hell. Thank y'all for tuning into this episode, the Same Cast Different Day podcast. And we gonna see y'all all on the first. No, we ain't. I don't know what Thursday is, but we see y'all on Thursday.
Not the first.
What's going on? Peace. All right. We gonna see y'all right now. Okay, we'll see y'all right now.